me about when you first realized that you wanted to act.
I was in a music school called Adolf Frederick, and as a person, and not really, I still have that in me. I don't have a devotion. I'm not fully devotion. We call it sharp elbows in Sweden, meaning that you will get what you want. You kind of elbow your way through life. And that's not a bad thing. A lot of people just have a goal, whether it's winning Oscars or whatever it is. I've never had that. I've always been a person who just goes for different things. I'll do whatever suits me in the time, right? So when this casting came up, my mom as a person was always like, oh, look, a bridge class. I've signed you up. And it was me and 5 8-year-old women. And I was just winning money from them at the age of like 13.
Bridge, that's interesting.
Yeah, I played cards since a child. I would have been a croupier if I could.
I mean, I hear it's good money.
I mean, I've heard, and I could count cards when I was young.
Are you serious? So you could go to Vegas and clean
Now
up?
I couldn't, but I could see. I could read cards. I could see what had
crazy.
gone and percentage of spades, hearts, clubs. I understood
So we could take you to Vegas for real, and you could Rain Man.
Not anymore, honey. Like I just loved. It was my morning routine with Mum. We would have Mozart in the background. She would make a cup of tiny bit of coffee, not much, with a lot of hot milk. When I was, I don't know, 10, and we'd play 3 rounds of cards every morning. But when the casting came up for this TV soap opera, she was the one who often had me try things. It was like, well, why don't we do this? And I did it. And I remember walking out. It was a little pier in the water. And Kim Sulocki was there, who was like heartthrob. I was in love with him. He was like the bee's knees in Sweden. And he played the boyfriend. And they were looking for the lead, the young girl. And I remember him being so kind. And he said, right, we don't really have a script. Let's just play with it. And I remember leaning in and listening to him. And I never acted. And it just worked. Like the game, the play, whatever that was, felt fun. And I didn't think of the camera. And I think that was the moment where I thought, well, this kind of makes sense. I kind of get this.
Yeah.
15, yeah.
What about a character on TV or in film that you wanted to be when you were a kid?
I never had that because my mother brought me up with watching like English crime shows. So I would watch like Cracker. I would watch Morse.
Yes.
I watched the Marx Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And there were no real, like the thing that I would naughtily watch is when my sister was 7 years older, watched Melrose Place.
Oh.
That was not on the agenda for the raising of this child.
Mm-hmm.
But I would run in. And I remember just loving the sassiness and the sun and the clothes. And it wasn't until later, I think, when I saw things with Helena Bonham Carter and like characters and wild hair. And
like A Room with a View?
Yeah, I loved that film.
I watched it over and over and over as a kid.
Loved that film.
So beautiful.
And wanting, but I was never, once again, I never had that drive. I wanted to go, I remember watching What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Oh, yeah, Johnny Depp. Yeah.
And I loved, was it Juliette Lewis?
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yes,
right?
And Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. I loved the dynamic. I remember loving her being in this relationship with these 2 people. The road trip, the journey. I wanted the journey. That's what I wanted to feel.
What were the posters on your bedroom wall?
Leonardo DiCaprio from Titanic.
Really? Oh, I love it. Okay.
And from Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
I always say that soundtrack, the Romeo and Juliet soundtrack, is still one of my top
listened to it in
albums
so
ever.
Long, but my God, Leo.
Yeah, that was a time.
Leo, do you remember when you did those? Did you? In Sweden, we did like tarot readings.
Yeah.
But you do it on paper. So you write your name and you count and you write Rebecca Ferguson loves Leonardo DiCaprio.
Where
And then
you
you take
fold it
the L.
over?
No, you take the L in love and you see how many L's do we have. So Leo has one. And then you look at the O and you go, how many O's do we have together? And then you count the percentage of
We did not do this
how
in
high
England.
and I think me and Leo scored like 89, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just
Good
saying,
to
Leo,
know.
89%. I don't know where you are, what you're doing.
We'll let him know.
Yeah, no, I think we should.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't like my husband, no.
Okay. Well, I'll send it to him on the quiet.
89. I actually don't know. It could have been 34.
Did you have a person in your life that was an early inspiration in terms of acting?
No.
You're just on your own.
I'm not. I was never that person.
Mm.
Because I didn't study film, I wasn't eager to become an actress. It was like trying things on.
Mm.
And I worked in a soap opera. I lived in Miami Beach for a year. I did the most cheesy soap opera. That was cancelled because it was so bad. I met Megan Fox was in it. And then her career flourished because I think she was... No, then we had someone from Pussycat Dolls in it. It was a weird time in my life. But
oh my God.
it's
I'm
like...
just picturing you in Miami Beach.
Oh, yeah.
How old were you at the time?
Oh, I was 17.
Wow. I mean,
There
what
was a club
weird
called
experience.
The Bed.
The Bed?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I would hang. I have so many experiences and I put it in this backpack.
Mm-hmm.
And then moments. My inspiration could be the way that my publicist dresses and the way that she says something that is so effortlessly chic. And I think, oh, now I'm into that. I want a bit of that. What is that? French fuck up. Sorry. French, beep that. French, I don't care attitude. Yeah. Like I'm surrounded by so many incredible people that I take tiny bits from people. Mannerisms, calm, whatever it is. And I mirror.
That's really interesting. You study humans for a living, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What's the weirdest job you've ever had? Maybe you just mentioned it, being 17 in Miami Beach, but I don't know what your answer would be.
That was a weird job. It was fun as well. My God, 11 months on Miami Beach.
I dread to think.
Come on. There were clubs I won't welcome back into. But
okay.
I did a commercial. It was quite sad. I'd lost a friend who had been in a car accident or a bus accident. And I had to do a casting for a deodorant. And I remember, oh my God, I had to be in a sports bra. And it was like, I'm not going to say the brand, some form of deodorant. Mm-hmm. And the thing was, I was going to lift it up and stroke this deodorant and touch my armpit because it was so smooth. But all I had was Frederick, who had just died. So I cried through the whole casting. And I didn't obviously get it. But a couple of years later, it was circling.
Really?
Yeah. So someone came to me and said, by the way, you know that this is happening. And it was a weird one.
How terrible.
Some casting director showed it to some other casting director. I'm not too worried. But I remember thinking whether or not he had died, stroking my armpit. Like, what am I doing? I can't remember, not old enough to be stroking my own armpit in a sports bra here.
Yeah, it's a little odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.